So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I use the Google AIY voice kit. So just like the Vision kit, it's basically designed by Google. They have some fancy things attached to the Pi Zero, um, and you're able to record speech and then either process yourself or send it to Google, and you can. It's kind of like act like a, uh, you know, um, Alexa or Google Home, those kind of kits where you can, use a built-in feature and say, um, "Hi Google, how do I do this?" Right? What time is it? So that kind of stuff. Um, but what I use it is a slightly different purpose. I kind of want to use it as a personal assistant to figure out like if there's anything that I can ask my personal assistant to do. So to get that feature started, basically same thing. You go to this Google AIY's website and you go to the voice kit, and I bought it at the same place as I got the Vision kit, which is Adafruit, because I kind of like their stuff. And it's not that different from the Vision kit, right? You get it from the a similar looking box. It's all cardboard boxes. Um, so these are the other stuff. You have the Pi Zero with a microphone, obviously. So the board has two channel microphone on it. I'll talk about the code later, but it records in two channels. You're most likely going to utilize one channel, which is what I did. But you can probably use both channels. And it got a speaker, so you can interact with it, basically. There's not much difference, really. You just follow the instructions to put it together. It's relatively, I would say, relatively easy to put it together. Not a huge deal. Um, it looks something like this. Again, I think the most problem I had was to put those two boards did it together with this, I guess, pegs. Um, they, like I said, they hurt my hand just like the Vision kit. But it's stable enough for to use. I use it for I guess at least a couple of months or several months now. So it's not it's not easily breakable, but I wouldn't say it's not have a durable structure because it is a cardboard box essentially. So nothing really much to say about that to set it up. So for me, what I wanted to do is I want to be able to kind of just walk through the speech recognition process, right? So this thing, what it could do is, obviously use microphone to record your voice, but to get to the what it actually said in the text, you need to transcribe that voice into a text, which is not, I would say, not that trivial to do. I had some previous experience with making these models, but they are pretty big model, and to get to the state of art, it requires a lot of good training data, because essentially what you do is you record the waves forms, do some kind of transformation to get to a spectrum, and you take a picture of that spectrum, and then use the convolution neural networks to basically recognize what kind of syllables did you say, and then you can put all those together to get to the actual text. So there's actually a fair amount of work involved. It's actually not easy to put all that model into the onboard chip. So they didn't do it here. All they did is really to kind of the board, I believe, I just do the recording stuff, processed recording. So I would say more basic than the vision kit, but still a very good kit to look at. So, which means you need to process the data a little bit more. So let's break it down to what are the things you actually have to do um, to make this voice kit work, right? So from the voice, you have to know when to record, and that you got hit with the first question: is how do you know when the sound coming in actually is human speech? So that's you use something like that's voice activation. Uh, uh, sorry, activity detection, right? Um, so that Google has some out of box GitHub packages to basically detect voice. People have been using it for a while. That's what recommended to me. I actually found it to be hard to use, and it actually don't detect all the speech that I want. So I again had to come up with my own solution, which I thought it's relatively good. So what I did it there is let's go to the code for a little bit to basically use socks to detect threshold in sound. So I basically found this code from Stack Overflow, the best website for a coder really. So what it does is detect certain levels of volume. When it go through that threshold, um, it will start recording, and once it fall below that threshold, it will stop recording. So it's to me, I thought the result was very good. Um, to record speech. Obviously, I have other background noise or if people banging on the floor or people moving too loud or that kind of stuff, right? It does record that kind of thing. So that's what my next step is. But let's finish this step. There are some caveats about this kind of recording. Um, it does cut off slightly the beginning and end because the obviously onboard chip is not that fast, but still the same process from SOX is actually a filtering system. So it had to do some online calculation, which make that happen that way. But if that's not what you want, you need precise recordings, then maybe use the um, sort of the maybe using the Google service for VAD, right? But I found this to be useful. So what I did next step though is once I record this speech, I send it to my server again to further process a little bit. So the way I kind of further process it is uh, I filter a little bit more. So what I did there is once I have the you can see I use the WebRTC from Google for doing the VAD. But once I process it, I actually send it to um, uh, DeepGram, which if you don't know, DeepGram is a service that transcribe audios. And the reason I use them is because they actually being fairly generous. They give you what was it, 10 hours or maybe 20 hours, I forgot. But it's a lot more than the transcription that Google gave you, which is just 60 minutes per month. I did use DeepGram for a little bit. You can see I have like 8 hours of transcription there. So um, I kind of use them as maybe a filtering system. So what I did is I use their API to send my audio, do transcription. If I see valid amount of transcription coming back from those audio, then I know it's human speech. And then what I do is I kind of use that filter result to send it to send to Google APIs. So you can see their pricing model. They have 60 minutes per month. So if you record a lot of audio, obviously that becomes really um, expensive for personal use. But even for DeepGram, if you do this all the time, you fill up. Like for me, the hours per month limit was done in like less than a week, probably 2 3 days. So I still need to find a better way to filter these audios to make sure they're actually the things I want. So then what I did there is I save all those audio, save the transcription. Now I kind of have ideas what I did for that, for those recording times. Maybe I was talking to my son, or maybe I was talking to, or listening to TV. I even record things from TV. So any kind of voice, you kind of have idea of what's happening in your house. So that's great, which I like. Tested a little bit, got a lot of data, but those data, when it goes to transcript, I find out that my son talked way more than I do. So that's interesting. But another thing that came out of the box for this speech kit is that they will try to do this, like I said, this Google Home, where they Google Assistant system. They kind of build it in a way that they wrapped around everything, so you can kind of use this out of the box, or very simple code on their AIY kit GitHub package. But the problem is they wrapped around it, so you can't use their transcription service, obviously, and you can't get the intents back from their Google Assistant, and then do some action to maybe on your own to decide, oh, this is what I want to do instead of Google Assist, Google Assist action. So, but anyway, so they do have a process where you can, in that kit, there's a button, right? You can press the button and record some voice, and press the button again, and then stop recording. We had to do I had to do that way because they only come with the Pi Zero kit or Pi Zero board. You can't really do the Google Assist, or Alexa thing, which is hi Alexa, and have it automatic activate. It somehow doesn't do it like that. Do it that way. So if you do the other more resource versions of the Pi, Raspberry Pi, then it may be able to do it. I haven't get it tested correctly yet. But anyway, pressing button is something that I could do. It's not a huge deal, right? But hopefully it will have a voice active version. Maybe I can try to get that to work. So what I did that way, right, is I can do like something like talk to a bot, which all I did is to I'll walk through this part later. Is I built a Raza service. So if you don't know what Raza is a chatbot framework, basically for you to train a model that understand your intent, filter out or parse out all the entities in your intent, like what time, where, how many people, that kind of stuff. So what I did is stand my own server of the Raza, and then I connected that, have a webhook to get results back from that chatbot, essentially. So then you can do actions on this kind of stuff. So I'll talk about so in a later video I'll talk about how to do these Raza servers. I'm still exploring them. I did a little bit of work on them before, but it's getting updated, so all the actions, things you can do are changing slightly. So I still yet to have to get that part to work. But then you can connect to your Vision Kit, which is the whole reason why I got both the Vision Kit and the voice kit. You can maybe ask your Vision Kit to be for things like what did you see, right? Other than a person in a room, which is me again. Do you see some chairs? Do you see some blackboards? Do you see, maybe a closet? That kind of stuff. So you can really try to interact with both of these kids and essentially try to do something fun. So think I'll stop there and end the video by saying you can use this vision kit, this voice kit to record speech, use Google service to transcribe it into text, use that text to do something, whether it's a bot, a chatbot, or use that text to carry out some command on your own. So this could be very interesting to try to put these things together. So I'll put some more resource down in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you have questions, whatever interesting, like I said, I'll go into later videos about the other parts of the whole how to connect the vision and voice kit together. So, all right, see you everybody.